Hey, Sweetwater County, how are we doing this afternoon? For those of you who don't know me, I am Mr. Aaron. I'm one of the guys that brings you story time right here at the, well, not right here, but here in Sweetwater County at the White Mountain Library. I'm not currently there at the moment. As you can see, I've set up this nice little sound booth here to read to you today. And what are we going to be reading, you ask? Well, we are going to be reading something pretty cool. We are going to be reading Geronimo Stilton, Micekings, Pull the Dragon's Tooth. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, let's go ahead and dive right in, shall we? What's the big secret? It was a calm summer evening in Mouseborg, the capital village of Miceking Island. The sun was setting over the mountains, and a fresh breeze blew across my fur. I whistled as I walked home. Oh, sorry, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Geronimo Stiltonord, and I am a Mouseking. As I walked, two young rodents raced past me, my nephew Benjamin and his best friend Bugzilda. "It's so exciting," said Benjamin. "Yeah, it's really exciting," agreed Bugzilda. "What's so exciting?" I called out as they raced past. "Oh, nothing," replied Benjamin, and they ran away giggling. How strange. Next, I passed the hut of Copper Ironpaws, the village blacksmith. "It's so exciting," Copper was saying to another Mouseking. His customer glanced at me. "Shh, he's coming." I marched up to them. "What's so exciting?" "Oh, nothing," the mouse said quickly. "You must have heard wrong." How very strange. I was almost at my hut when I saw a group of Micekings talking very quietly. My cousin Trap, the village inventor, was among them. "Careful, it's him," I heard Trap whisper as I got near. The Micekings scattered, chuckling. How very, very strange. "Trap, what is happening?" I asked. "Why is it that every time I show up somewhere, everyone stops talking and giggles?" "I don't know what you mean, cousin," Trap said. "There's nothing going on." I was starting to become annoyed. "Fine. I don't care about your little secrets anyway." Then I stomped into my hut and settled in for what I hoped would be a relaxing night. I prepared a delicious pot of hot cheese soup and was about to dig in when someone knocked on my door. A surprise for me. My sister Thea was outside the door. "Geronimo, open up!" she called out. "Have you come to laugh at me too?" I yelled through the door. "I am tired of all these secrets." "Oh, don't be a codfish," Thea said. "Open the door." "No, no, no," I said stubbornly. I heard Thea sigh. "Oh, all right. But then I'll have to tell Sven that you refused to come out of your hut. I warned you." I jumped up. "Sven the Shouter wants me? Our village leader? Why didn't you say that before?" I hurried to open the door. Thea entered and grabbed a hunk of bread from my table. "Sven ordered us not to tell you anything so we wouldn't ruin the surprise," she explained. My whiskers trembled with excitement. "A surprise? For me? Oh, what is it? Is it a new goatskin blanket? A precious scroll? A big chunk of Stinchberg cheese?" My mouth watered at the thought of it. I was so curious I was practically jumping out of my fur. Then we heard noises outside. "That must be the others," Thea said. "Others? What others?" I asked. "I'm not expecting anyone." But Thea ignored me and opened the door. A sea of Micekings invaded. They made themselves comfortable right away. They sat on my chairs, they bounced on my bed, they ate all my bread and drank my cheese soup. My humble home now held every rodent in Mouseborg. "Great groaning glaciers!" I yelled. "What is everyone doing here?" Right at that moment, Sven the Shouter stepped in. He pounded me on the back with his paw. "I have gathered all of the Micekings here in your hut, you smarty Mouseking," he thundered. I nodded nervously. "I need to make an important announcement," Sven said. "Max Musclepaw, the great-great-great-grandson of the legendary Mookie Musclepaw, has arrived in Mouseburg." The Micekings let out a cheer. "Hooray for Max Musclepaw! Hooray for the Mouseking hero who has earned 1,753 Mouseking helmets!" Shivering squits, that's a lot of Micekings helmets, the highest honor among the Micekings. "Is the surprise that Max is here?" I asked. "What does that have to do with me?" Sven gave me a piercing stare. "It has everything to do with you, you shrimp snout. I asked Max Musclepaw to come back to make you into a true macho Mouseking." Is this the little shrimp I'm supposed to train? Sven looked me up and down from the tips of my whiskers to the end of my tail. Then he frowned. "A true macho Mouseking needs muscles," he barked. "You're squishy as a jellyfish." A glacial chill ran down my spine. Sven continued. "So, I have decided that you need a special trainer. So, Sven the Shouter!" the Micekings cheered. "Well said, oh fearless leader," my cousin Trap chimed in. I scowled at Trap, but he kept talking. "Either you have muscles, or you don't. And I've got plenty," Trap said, flexing his meaty, but not very muscly arm. "But you, cousin, you're soft as a ball of mozzarella." "Wise words," Sven the Shouter agreed. "Trap, I order you to also participate in the special training so that you can show Geronimo how a macho Mouseking trains." Trap tried to protest. That wouldn't be fair to the other Micekings, would it?" he asked. "Yeah, why can't we train too?" the other Micekings asked. Taking advantage of the confusion, I tried to quit. I was a whisker away from the exit when the door swung open and hit me right in the snout. Ugh! Helmets and herring, that hurt. "Geronimo, where are you going?" I looked up to see Thora, Sven's charming daughter. "Well, I just remembered I have something important to do," I stuttered. Then the door swung open again. "Geronimo, let me introduce you to Max Musclepaw, the great Micekings hero," Thora said. And here's our illustrations on this page. I can get the page to turn. There we go. So there I stood, gazing up at the tallest and most muscled Mouseking I'd ever seen. He was as big as a block of stone. No, as a boulder. No, as a whole mountain. He looked me up and down. "Is this the little shrimp I'm supposed to train?" he asked. "His tiny bones won't be crushed, will they?" "A bit of hard work never hurt anyone," boomed Sven. "And to make everyone happy, I've decided that Crusher, Smasher, and Sprainer will all participate in the training too." At those words, 3 strong Mousekings made their way through the crowd. One by one they approached me, yelling, "I'm gonna crush you! And I'm gonna smash you! And I'm gonna sprain your tail! Why does everything happen to me?" "Get out of bed, you shrimp!" Max Musclepaw yelled early the next morning as he dumped a bucket of freezing water on me. But it's still dark outside," I squeaked. But this muscled hero didn't want to hear it. "A true macho Mouseking gets up every day at dawn and starts to run, he bellowed. I reluctantly got out of bed, yawning like a bear just waking from hibernation. "Can't we at least have breakfast?" I asked. Max gave me a strange smile. "Pack all the food you want in your bag. We'll bring it with us to Three Lookouts Cliff." Squeak! I was already hungry, I wanted to protest, but then I decided it was better to just do what he said. Have I mentioned that Max is very tall and very muscled? So I took the bag and I stuffed it with 22 eggs, 16 slices of toast, 20 jars of fjordberry jam, 25 logs of goat cheese, and 7 chunks of precious Stenchberg. When I was finished, the bag was so heavy. "Lift that and run," Max shouted. "I'll get you in shape, you smarty Mouseking." Crusher, Smasher, and Sprainer were waiting outside. The 3 of them had already begun their training, which consisted of 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 pull-ups using their whiskers. Guess what? Trap was nowhere in sight. "Why don't you all start the trip without me?" I suggested. "I should wait here for my cousin." "No need," said Max. "Your cousin was very excited about the trip that he left early." "Really?" I asked in disbelief. "Yes, and you should follow his example, you little shrimp," Max bellowed. "I'll straighten you out, you smarty Mouseking. Run, run, run!" Then he began to chant. "Our whiskers always make us proud. We'll say it now, we'll say it loud. And if the dragons we should meet, we'll crush them in a fierce defeat. We work, we stink, we sweat, we spit, but we will never ever quit. Our enemies will feel our sting. We are the true and mighty Mousekings." We ran through the village and began to climb up, 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 all the way to Three Lookouts Cliff. Crusher, Smasher, and Sprainer ran behind me, shouting all the way, "Run, or I'll crush you! Run, or I'll smash you! Run, or I'll sprain your tail!" The hill we were climbing was so steep that the weight of my bag caused me to fall backward like a tortoise on a shell. Oh, how do I get into these terrible situations? Oh, there he is, running up the hill. We finally reached the top of Three Lookouts Cliff. Max Musclepaw was there already. "You call that running?" he scoffed. But I was tired, finished, exhausted. I was also starving, so I opened my backpack. "What are you doing, you little shrimp?" Max yelled at me. I was just preparing breakfast, oh brave one," I replied hopefully. He snickered. "I said you could bring breakfast. I didn't say you could eat it." I was puzzled until Max said, "The breakfast is for the lookouts." But, I stammered. "Move it, shrimp!" Max yelled. He pushed me toward the watchtower where 3 lookouts were scanning the horizon. The lookouts stay in the tower day and night. They watch the sky for dragons, who are always starved for Miceking meat. There they are in their watchtower. I handed the lookouts my backpack full of food. "Young Micekings just aren't the same these days," grumbled the first. "Oh, since when did Micekings become such jellyfish?" grumbled the second. "This one looks as soft as a bowl of cheese," grumbled the third. I sighed. Would I ever fit in? Suddenly Trap ran up to me. He looked sweaty and sticky, but seemed to be full of energy. "Good morning, cousin," he said cheerfully. "Nice little run is a great way to start the day." It was strange that Trap wasn't exhausted like I was. Even stranger, I thought I smelled honey on him. "It's time to start our first exercise," Max called out. "You need to crush those rocks." I looked at the rocks. They were giant boulders. Crusher, Smasher, and Sprainer started pounding the boulders and crumbling them with their bare paws. "Snap to it, smarty Mouseking!" Max yelled at me. I tried to pick up the mallet, but it weighed as much as I did. When I finally managed to lift it, I charged at the boulder, yelling, "Here I go!" But I missed it and face-planted into the rock. Kabam! Oh. The mallet slipped out of my paw, flew through the air, and landed right behind a goat that was munching some grass nearby. The goat was furious, charged at me with its head down. Squeak! Uh-oh. There he goes. The goat is not happy. I closed my eyes and prepared for the worst as the goat charged me. At the last second, Max Musclepaw grabbed the goat by its horns and stopped it in its tracks. "Huh, you'd be toast if it weren't for me, you little shrimp," he said. He let go of the goat's horns. The animal trotted away, angrily huffing and puffing. The 3 lookouts had watched the whole scene from the tower. "In our day," began the first one, "we respected goats," said the second one. "We certainly didn't throw mallets at them," finished the third one. Oh, shivering squids, I can't win. Then Max gathered us together for our next exercise, the Great Cliff Dive. I looked over the edge and got woozy. What a dizzying drop down to the water below. "I'm afraid of heights," I whimpered, "and I'm a terrible swimmer." At that moment I felt a sticky paw on my shoulder. It was Trap. "Come on, cousin," he said. "Follow my lead. I'm not afraid of anything." Max Musclepaw stomped up to us, sniffing. "I smell honey." He grabbed Trap by the belt. "It's you! You rubbed honey all over your fur to make yourself look sweaty. You didn't really run, did you?" Well, I took a shortcut," Trap admitted. "Is that so?" Max growled. "Then you can jump first, and don't try to trick me again." Max pushed Trap off the cliff. Then Crusher, Smasher, and Sprainer each jumped off. They all splashed into the freezing waters of the fjord. I looked down, turning as pale as mozzarella, then as purple as a wild berry, then as green as the mold on Stinchberg cheese. Galloping goats, I'd never make it. Max tried to encourage me. "Watch me," he yelled. As he dove off the cliff, he yelled, "Get a move on, you little shrimp!" The 3 lookouts approached me. "To get over a fear of heights, you just need to hold your breath," said the first. "No, he needs to eat some snails," said the second. "No way, he just needs to stick pine cones in his ears," said the third. Oh, there they go off the cliff. Oh my. Then the first lookout sounded the horn. I was so startled I jumped right off the cliff. I fell down, down, down. Oh no, there he goes. And that brings us right to the end of a chapter. So I think that is where we're going to end for today. But don't worry, I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. for more Geronimo Stilton Micekings. It's going to be fun. I hope you guys will join us. And be sure to check out our other live programs that we have going on. We have Toddler Times going on with Miss Becky, and we have Stories with Sunny happening with Miss Sunny regularly as well. So keep an eye on the Facebook page so you know when that stuff is happening. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. That is all for today. This has been Mr. Aaron with the Sweetwater County Library System, and have a wonderful day.